Are you thinking about moving to Denver? There's definitely a lot to love, some that you might not like so much, but today we're gonna cover 5 of your not so obvious things that you'll love and 3 that you definitely might not. That being said, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. And to preface, we wanted to go outside the box with this, right? By now, if you guys have been watching our channel for any amount of time, you're gonna know a lot of the obvious things there is to love about Denver. In fact, that's probably a big part of why you're watching this video in the first place. So when it comes to these top 5 ones, we're going a little bit outside of the box, but not to overlook a lot of the obvious great reasons that you might be looking to move here. Let's get right to it.
Correct. And that being said, we also just, hey, as the channel, I know you got a great segue.
No,
as the channel progresses, as Denver progresses, there's just new things to talk about. Obviously, we're in 2025 right now. We've done pros and cons before. We've done them several times. It's a little bit of a different approach, but there's just different things to talk about. So
yes.
All right, getting right into it, let's talk about some positives that you guys might not consider or think of. And we're talking about like your built-in weekend trip. So we're talking hot springs, we're talking a lot of different things, but long story short, before he gets into the details, there's so much to do within an hour of Denver that you probably couldn't do anywhere else but here. Let's give them some.
Yeah, and guys, even if you're willing to go out a little bit more than an hour, maybe up to 4, you can see so many amazing places that are literally like world famous destinations for people to go to, like Buena Vista. You've got some really cool places all around the state that are, let's call it 1 to 4 hours, that truly are a complete vacation away from home. You can head out on a Friday, you can come back on a Sunday and have a complete vacation with your family without ever actually needing to leave your state.
Sometimes I'm thinking about what I want to say. Sometimes I'm thinking about the funny clip I want to put into the video, like this one right here, boom.
I'm talking about a little place called Aspen.
That would be one of the places you guys could go that's well within the 4-hour window. You guys have everything you can think of. And I want to just point out when we talk about the mountains, here's what most people don't realize. Activity up there is year round.
Yes.
Most people think of snowboarding and skiing. They've also got tubing. If you guys have ever been on like a lake and you've tubed on a lake, they do that stuff on mountaintops where you can slide down on these big tubes. It's a lot of fun, but there's also mountain biking and hiking and different things that you guys can do in all seasons, right? So this is not just a winter thing, but definitely one of the places you might want to check out.
Oh yeah, and especially guys, as we're getting into the summer, you know, talking about weather a little bit, we do have a real summer. It's very, very dry, like really dry, so it's very tolerable. Like 100 degrees here will feel vastly different than 100 degrees in Florida, for example. In the middle of the summer, when it's just getting a little too hot and you go into the mountains, you know, 2-3 hours into the mountains and all of a sudden it's dropped 30 degrees and it's like literally the perfect weather. It's such a nice quick getaway just to beat the heat for a little bit.
You are at higher altitude though, so when we talk about like hair product, I know you're not gonna take my advice on the hair product. There is something to be said about dry climates for women and men's hair. There's also something called sunscreen and chapstick. You're definitely gonna want those because even though it's tolerable because it's dry, it's a little bit more aggressive on the skin per se, right? So you'll dry out your skin a lot quicker. So things you might wanna think of if you guys are curious about your little care package or what you guys should be taking on your daily trips, text this number below, whether it's a relocation guide, tips on your chapstick and sunscreen, or what we recommend taking out as far as being safe in the wild. Either way, we got your back. Text us your question below, throw us a call, text us or email. And as a reminder, we got licensed realtors here in the state of Colorado as well. So if you need help with your real estate needs, we'd love to do that as well. But on to the next bullet point.
That's right. Okay, now moving on. Number 2, Denver is full of weird, creative, and like quirky parts of the town, right? You always hear the phrase like keep Austin weird regarding Austin, Texas, right? Well, I think Denver has a very, very similar vibe. You know, one of the things
quirky is a good word.
Quirky is a good word.
I'm trying to swallow weird.
Artsy, quirky.
Weird is such a condescending word.
Yeah,
I feel like quirky's good.
These days,
different
quirky's good.
But fun.
Yeah,
like our kids have been to Meow Wolf. They love Meow Wolf.
Yeah, Meow Wolf, if you guys aren't familiar with that, there's a few Meow Wolf installations across the country.
Correct.
But it basically is like interactive art. I don't want to call it a museum. It's like walking into an art exhibit where it's like, man, it's weird. Can we call Meow Wolf weird?
It's out there. It's outside the box. You guys would have a lot of fun. Kids love going to it.
Good for adults, good for kids.
You know what I like is because we've got like the Children's Museum, we've got your History Museum, you've got the zoo. When you've got Meow Wolf, it's so different. But what's nice is if you guys have young kids that maybe aren't in school and you want to go have some fun during the week when it's not so busy, that place is not busy at all when it comes to during the week. So you can still get in and have a lot of fun and dodge a lot of the crowds. That's what we noticed when we took our kids. So something to think about.
In addition to Meow Wolf, you guys will have Rhino. Rhino stands for River North. It's a neighborhood in Denver, on the north side of Denver, but it is full of breweries, beer gardens, art, murals, like cool kind of street art murals everywhere that are amazing.
Shops. Never been to one of those before.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys can't tell, I hang out in Rhino.
That's right. Yeah. Really, really good food around there, but it is just a fun sort of quirky place that's nice and away from Lodo, which is like where the clubs and things are like that in lower Denver. It's very close. It's a great place to go for brunch on Sunday. We have these first Friday art walks down on Santa Fe in Denver. So the first Friday of every month, there's all these different art galleries and they all open their doors. You can go there. There's tons of food trucks and people are literally just walking Santa Fe, going and checking out all these different art galleries, having some beer, having some food, and it's a real fun time and a good thing to do just your new Denver friends.
Yeah, and that's in addition to like his favorite farmers markets.
That's right.
Those always happen on the weekends. But what's also nice is even though Denver's not your biggest, metro city in the country, there's just so many different things to do. Nothing is overly busy. You've got plenty of sports. We're gonna talk about our sports team and some of the pride that we have with that here, but there's just so much to do. It's so close, but I can't remember the last time I took kiddos somewhere and I felt overwhelmed, like it was just so busy.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be there. And I think it's because the variety the past 3 to 5 years of Denver has gotten really good.
Now, moving along, let's chat about Will alluded to it just a second ago, our local loyalty and just the Colorado pride that you get here from the folks living here.
Yeah, and the Rockies are like 4-24 right now, 3-24. So we've talked about the Rockies. We're not happy with the situation. It's got to be one of the best ballparks in all of baseball. MLB, Major League Baseball.
Thanks.
It's great atmospherics. You guys can grab some food, grab a beer, maybe tickets a little bit cheaper, because like the team isn't doing so well. There is talk about the team being sold. Don't quote me on that. I'm looking at some clickbait on social media lately. They're just not doing well. We don't like that because we feel like they don't want to win. But one thing you are going to get in Denver is Denver Nuggets, Colorado Avalanche, and the Denver Broncos. It's a great energy, great atmospherics, fan base, super loyal. They want to see them win. The organizations want to win. Creates for some fun competition. The Broncos are obviously making some great picks. They've had a great season last year as far as like a rebuild per se. And there's just a lot of fun energy that's going on as far as like getting some of our teams back on top. The Nuggets have won a championship recently. Colorado Avalanche always compete. The Rockies, we don't really know where they came from or why they're here. Hopefully we fix it soon, but either way. And here's a tip. If you guys want to go to an evening game, sit on the third base side. The sun starts to set. You'll get a little bit more shade. You won't get that direct sunlight from sitting directly in it. On the first base side, have a beer, have a hot dog, enjoy it. Even if they're getting their butts kicked, we play a lot of great teams that you might want to see, like the Dodgers, et cetera, et cetera. Makes for a lot of fun.
That's right. And in addition to sports teams, you will just see a lot of people that are proud to live in Colorado. Yeah. And these aren't just
natives. You'll see native
they're not just the natives, but you'll see just Colorado flag stickers everywhere. You'll see a lot of people that just, love the mountains and nature and being outdoors and wanting to keep Colorado very Colorado. And again, this isn't just natives because over 50% of people that live here aren't from Colorado. So a lot of you guys have come from other states. What we found is that a lot of people that do come here, they adopt that Colorado pride much as natives do.
It's just when you put your guard down, they put their guard down kind of thing. I think Colorado's always just never had a guard up. So when people come here, regardless of where they're coming from, they feel comfortable. And we know there's politics out there. We know there's a lot going on out there. Here's what we'll say. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of people move here from states, and we've never had bad people coming from a state. I think a lot of people just enjoy their freedoms, enjoy what they want to do, enjoy who they are. And in Colorado, you just don't really feel a lot of aggression one way or another. People are just busy, staying active, working hard, doing their thing. And you just don't get a lot of one way or the other and things like that. Colorado feels very friendly, very active. The school districts here are super competitive.
Huge support for local businesses.
Huge support for local business. So when it comes to the overall just living experience of you guys being here, please realize, get past some analytics on some news channels or whatever it may be, and just come enjoy it, see what you think of it. Either way, it's got to be one of the best places we've ever been.
That's right. Now that perfectly carries us into our next point, and that is just the overall chill but driven culture that you're going to find out here.
Yeah, just to work hard, play hard. Folks love to just grind here and get after their entrepreneurship or their career. You've got a lot of big companies that have come here in the past couple of years, but because there is so much to do that requires physical activity per se, people really get that dopamine hit. They love climbing 14ers. They love going for jogs and hikes. Colorado has to be one of the most kid and dog friendly places there are. We have more state parks per square foot than like any other state. We've got dog friendly restaurants and stores, not just pet stores. You can go to Murdoch's with your dog if you guys would like. It's a nice outdoor outdoor store. Just a lot of really cool stuff. So not only do people like getting outdoors and enjoying the outdoor lifestyle, but restaurants and stores also embody that as well, and allows you to just enjoy your family.
It's true.
Enjoy your dogs. And again, I think it leads to everyone just kind of having a good time here, and no one's really up each other's butts.
Yeah, and it's a great way, again, for you guys to get ingrained with your community, interact with your neighbors, make new friends. There's tons of meetup groups that are constantly meeting up to go and do these active things, whether it's in Denver or going to Red Rocks to see a concert or going on hikes. There's tons and tons of groups for things like that. Yeah. It's one of those places where, we're very much into work-life balance, to where what I like is like people out here, there is a culture where people, like Will said, do get after their business, right? I'd say Monday through Thursday, people are generally getting after it, but then, hey, you might see a coworker or a friend out at 3 o'clock happy hour on a Friday, getting ready to go see a baseball game. Yeah, they'll be working there.
Yeah, a lot of folks work remote here, so they can go up to the mountains and enjoy it. And like Wi-Fi is pretty much everywhere now, right? So you can pretty much work wherever you want when it's remote. And a lot of folks just love like that Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, sorry.
You want to share the bad news?
No,
we're going to get into it. We got one more. Before we get to the ones that you guys really want to hear, the ones that you don't think you'll like, let's get into the last one.
Let's talk microclimates here, okay? And this is top of mind because we've got some clients right now that moved here specifically for that reason. Shout out to Haley and Robbie. They were coming here from the Northwest side, and they specifically, were looking at Colorado because how much sun we have out here, right?
You get all 4 seasons, but they're just not over the top. The summer's not too hot, not too long. You probably get 2 to 3 weeks in August where we'll hit close to 100.
Yep.
But it's dry heat. Our winters here, we definitely get full winters. You can have a foot of snow. You can have 8 inches of snow, but it melts within a day or two because of the sun coming out, having more sunny days in Florida. So you'll get these climates, but they just don't linger or stay around too long. So it's just enough to enjoy it, have a snowy Christmas, right? Get the pictures with the family, and then you move on to the next season.
Yeah, I really do feel like, guys, it's like when you're in the summertime, just when you're starting to get tired of the heat, the fall rolls in and you have the most gorgeous fall ever, right? And then you move into the winter, you definitely do get some healthy snowstorms, which is kind of fun to be snowed in for a day and be able to enjoy that, have the snowy Christmas like Will said. But then just when you're getting tired of the cold, and January, February is legit cold. It does get really cold. We don't have a ton of snow, but it does get really cold. But just when you're starting to get tired of that, the springtime rolls around, and it's just a beautiful transitional phase between the winter and summertime where like right now it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's green as ever. Like we're at my home, my personal residence here as we speak. We've got the sliding glass wall that's opened up. We're hanging out in the shade under the covered patio. Like it couldn't be a better day outside. You'll get a lot of that here. And even when it's cold in the winter, you'll still get days that are 55 degrees.
Yes.
It's not just cold all the time. Like, so definitely a great statement. I'm not sure who coined that. Micro seasons?
Microclimates.
Great.
Yeah, I think we're calling it microclimates because even within a day, you may have sun, you may have rain, you may have clouds. You can have all that stuff in just one day here in Colorado. So it definitely mixes it up for you.
It doesn't happen as much as people would like to say.
Yeah, it's predictable. We have predictable weather.
Anytime you're going from like fall to winter, you're going to get some of that, or like spring to fall, or you're coming out of the winter into the spring, like you're going to have some of that where like the mornings are cold, but it starts warming up during the day. But typically it's right around those season changes.
Yeah, and it's nice too because if we do have a nice overcast day, man, I love the rain. Will and I both love the rain 100%. When it's overcast, but then later on in the day, the clouds might clear out and it gets hot, and it's nice and sunny. So
100%. Now, if you guys have questions on our favorite areas as far as like activities and where to go, we're talking about a lot of this outdoor stuff. We've got Philip S. Miller Park. We've got so many places that we can show you guys. If you're curious about the top areas you guys should be visiting or hanging out, text this number down below. We are happy to send you guys some area guides and or some activity guides on some things to look into as well. But with that being said, let's get to the things that you might not like so much.
That's right. Now let's start off with one of the seemingly most obvious ones, but that's going to be our housing prices. Now, a lot of you guys may think that because we're technically like Midwest, believe it or not, we're technically like a Midwest state, that we may have Midwest prices.
Who said we're Midwest?
We're technically Midwest.
He's a non-native. He's only been here 95% of his life. We're West.
I agree.
Everywhere that speaks about Colorado, we're the West. Yeah. We're literally like the gateway to the gold rush. Like
True.
Colorado and West is considered the West, not the Midwest. So whoever is coining us as the Midwest,
I agree.
Change where you get information. We're the West.
Don't think we're gonna have Midwest prices. With the majority of our bills and day-to-day living expenses, we are right on par with nationwide averages. Right. However, our housing is gonna be roughly 30% more than nationwide averages.
But 30% less in places like Southern California,
correct,
the Bay Area, certain spots in Illinois. So if you guys are looking at like different things that are popular like Southern California, California. We're 30% above certain averages nationally, 30% below. And that's held for the past couple of years. We've spoken about this before. I know it sounds repetitive, but we're still pretty consistent that's there. But our property taxes are a lot lower than most people think. So you're gonna save some money on property tax. It all kind of comes out in the wash where it's more affordable than you might think.
That's right, that's right. Let's also talk about altitude because that is definitely a factor out here. Will talked earlier about chapstick, water, all of those things. Those are definitely very important. I'm literally never leaving my house without a bottle of water. If you're not doing that currently, it's definitely a habit you want to adopt just for...
Or gloves.
Or gloves. Winter gloves?
Eli's fingers died.
We're talking about this.
They're numb.
Ooh. Maybe you should wear these extra gloves.
Listen, his fingers die. He needs gloves. Like if you guys have something similar,
yeah,
you're gonna definitely want to make sure you got some hot hands.
I have a slight condition. Okay, my fingers don't die. I do have a slight condition where my fingers will get colder than normal.
He didn't know I was gonna say that.
Right?
We're all human. We all have our things, right? Like,
right.
Eli's fingers want to fall off in the cold. Guys are like, hot hands are great. You can get those from outdoor.
Even a slight breeze will get it.
It'll get it, right?
Yeah,
or some gloves, which he never has. It's always interesting, right?
That's right. Yeah. So speaking of altitude, your body does adapt after a few months. But
it's like 90 days per se where you get acclimated.
Yeah. But as you guys are coming out here to visit and maybe you're going up for a quick trip up in the mountains and going for a hike, it's definitely something you're going to want to consider. And again, it's something like you're not going to die or anything like that, but just bring your water, plan on pacing things out a little bit, make sure you're eating and you have your blood sugar is not crashed out or anything like that. All the general precautions, it just applies a little extra out
here. Now, additionally, like one that I'm going to add to this whole conversation that we don't talk about much, if ever, but it's kind of like that Denver gloom that we'll get in the summer sometimes. And that's not because Denver's dirty. You'll get a lot of natural or man-caused fires from surrounding states like California, Wyoming, Idaho. There'll be fires.
Utah,
But because of how the jet stream works, a lot of the wind ends up blowing across Colorado. So it won't even be a Colorado fire, but you might see like some just gloomy, like just haze coverage where it's just like, man, like what is up today? Like you can't even see the mountains per se, or like downtown, it's just real gloomy. And a lot of it is because of just how the wind works, or the jet stream, whatever you want to call it, how it works. We get a lot of that wind that blows across Colorado. So you'll see some of that. So some days aren't as beautiful. Obviously, Colorado has some of the most beautiful skies. Maybe we could show some of this today with how beautiful and clear it is. Definitely makes up for some of those days where it's just a little bit more gloomy when you have a fire. But a lot of it isn't necessarily, like I say, Colorado created, or just indirectly in effect because of the jet stream. But yeah, it just sometimes you'll get like some high warnings where they say, hey, because of the smoke in the air, it's not the best day to be out. No, it's not going to kill you or anything like that. But they'll just give some good warnings on the news as far as like, hey, just don't necessarily be out or be at altitude or hiking in the mountains today. It's a little gloomy because of fires, et cetera, et cetera. But something to consider.
Now, let's also talk about our lot sizes that we're going to have out here. Our lot sizes are standard new build lot sizes, right? Even if it's not a brand new build, the majority of our Denver metro suburban neighborhoods, honestly, might be what you fully expect depending on where you're coming from. But some of you guys that are coming from like, I don't know, East Coast, North Carolina,
Midwest,
Virginia, the real Midwest, things like that, where you have a half acre, 3/4 acre, 1 to 2 acre lots might be the standard out there.
A lot of Missouri is like that.
Yeah, you're just not going to find that here within the metro suburban areas. If that's what you're looking for, you will just have to go on the outskirts.
You can still get sometimes like an 1/8 of an acre or a 1/4 acre on some of these new builds, depending on the new build and the price points. But older areas have some great lots. If you get into like older, like Greenwood Village and some different parts of Centennial, like they were still doing that. As some of these new builds, depending on where you guys are looking, obviously we can help you with that. Depending on price point, where they're building, how much that they're building, sometimes lot sizes just get sacrificed. You can find what you're looking for. You just got to be really creative, or at least just super proactive in regards of like what areas have the needs that I have. And we talk about this a lot with our clients that relocate from different states, or they're inside Colorado and they're looking for different areas. They just haven't been updated because they've been living in some area for 10 years. And we cover that with our relocation guide. It literally covers areas first, right? As far as like what you can expect shopping, what you can expect commercial and commute, lot sizes, home types, et cetera, et cetera. And you definitely want to make sure that you're versed on that stuff. If you guys are curious about our relocation guide, text reload down on this number that's popping up below. We can get you guys that as well. We've got plenty of information that can help out, but it's definitely becoming less common as they are doing more new builds here, especially in certain price points.
Yeah, and a good alternative, guys, after speaking with, so many of you, it turns out a lot of you guys don't necessarily want an acre, but maybe you just want open space behind you.
Correct.
Right? And there are so many homes like that, particularly in these new build communities. They're always proactively, putting homes on the outer perimeter.
And they're just creating parks in the centers as well.
100%, where you can back to a park. 100%. And just not having a neighbor directly behind you is ultimately what a lot of you guys are looking for. If you're backing to open space, that literally is the best. Like, you don't have to maintain an acre, but you get to see it, you get to look out and have all this space behind you. So that is a really good alternative. As you guys are reaching out, talking to us about your goals, that is one of the things we'll chat about is, hey, do we actually want an acre, or do we just want it to look like you have acreage and not have to deal with everything that comes along with that?
Agreed. All right, there you have it. Some undisclosed or uncommon things we think you guys would love, some things we think you guys might not love. If you have further questions, we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of Colorado. We would love helping with those real estate needs just as much as we love making these videos. That number popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if you guys are curious about your own discovery call with us, we'd love to do that.
That's right.
That being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you guys very soon.
All right, see you guys.